Hey everyone, it is about 5:36 p.m. on this TGIF. Thank God it's Friday, November, I think 23rd, I believe, 23rd. Yeah, the month is going by fast, guys. Thanksgiving, of course, is this Thursday, and a lot of people are already going out for the holidays. In fact, we got some people, oh no, it's the 22nd today. Yeah, November 22nd. Tomorrow's the 23rd. But anyway, like I said, Thanksgiving's this upcoming week. A lot of people are going out for the holidays already. In fact, some people, like HR people, are going out for the holidays already and won't be back until around the 1st of next month. But with that said, I'm going to say that this was a very quick, long, and very, very crazy. I wouldn't say crazy, but it was a very quick, long, and just, confusing week, if I'm going to be honest, because this is one of those weeks where they decided to have everybody scheduled, unless you talk to management, and inform them, hey, this is what might happen, but I'll still be here. This was one of those weeks where they decided to schedule everybody to come in at 4 in the morning. And there were some people like myself that couldn't do that because of reasons. My reason being that the ride I have doesn't want to get up that early because, they're not scheduled to be at their job until about 8, which is a pre-K job in Livermore. So they don't want to, get up any earlier than they have to help me get to my job before going to theirs. Anyway, though, like I said, it's one of those, confusing weeks because even though it's understandable by retailers, in store, online, in person, online, and all that, why when they have customers and everything, they would have, the employees and associates come in early to set up the store, get it ready, and all that. The same goes for the warehouses that those retailers get their items from. It's understandable that, around this time frame that, they would have the associates, the warehouse workers come in early to set things up, get things moving, and out the doors towards, to the stores that they are destined to go to. But for some odd reason, and maybe it's just because I came in at 6, I don't know. But even if I came in at 4, it felt like, when you looked around, it felt like, the 4 a.m. was not necessary this week. Like, you could have easily done 6, maybe 5:30, 5 a.m. at the earliest, and would have been fine. But it felt like the 4 a.m. was unnecessary. But it's understandable, though, why they did it. There are certain areas in the warehouse, like P2L, Pack to Light, and a few others, that need focus on because there's a lot of pallets with the P2L items ready to be shipped that are all over the warehouse. And it's to the point that basically it's to the point to where basically, they are running out of room. Kind of like last year, but not as bad. But it's gotten to that point. Now, what's interesting for me, though, is on Monday, I went in and I did some stripping. And I did stripping, of course, like I'm scheduled to do. But come Tuesday, I walk in, and instead of doing stripping, I'm doing totes. So I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to go do totes. Not a big deal. I have no issue with it whatsoever because, a job's a job. If I'm getting paid a certain amount, which I think is pretty good, a job, and it's weekly pay, a job's a job. No questions asked. So I'm doing totes. Then on Wednesday, I was assigned, along with others, to do EAS tagging, which is basically putting the electronic device on the clothing. So I do that, and then I'm asked after lunch, along with a few others, to go help with off stacking on Pactolite for the rest of the day before going back to EAS tagging to kind of clean up our area, finish up what we started, and turn in our scan guns. So that's what I did on Tuesday. Was it Tuesday? No, it was Wednesday. Wednesday. Tuesday is when I did totes and everything. Tuesday is when I did totes. And then I did totes yesterday as well, which again, no problem. Because the main job I was doing was stapling them together with the staple gun, with the air pressured staple gun. So that's what I was doing. And then today, I got assigned, and it showed it on the board, EAS tagging. So I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to tagging. No problem. And I did that for most of the day. I did not go to any other area. That was my main area, EAS tagging. And I'll say this. As I mentioned, this was a very confusing week. Mainly not just because of the fact that the 2 extra hours felt unnecessary. But what was also confusing was the fact that you would think that a retailer's warehouse or even a retail store itself, you would think the fire alarm would know the difference between smoke and water pressure. And because we've had some unusual weather this week, cold, warm, whatever, for some odd reason, on the cold days that we had, it caused the water pressure to kind of, I guess, go off or come loose or something. And because of that, on Wednesday and Tuesday, the alarm went off. Yeah. And both times, right before people went to lunch or break. Yeah, twice. And almost within the same time frame. Well, Wednesdays was like a little later, a bit like a half hour later or something like that, but within the same time frame. And many people on Thursday, as we were clocking out, so we're joking with the management, hey, it might happen again, because I think the head management, they had to stay at least for the night, or at least up until the night, to see if it was going to do it again, or they had to come in later that night to see if it was going to do it again before maybe going home and relaxing. I don't know. But be that as it may, yeah, it was one of those situations to where all of a sudden, on Tuesday, everybody's getting ready to go to lunch and break, and everything, right? I'm going to break, they're going to lunch, and, somebody and other people that came in on my time a little later, same thing, going to break while others are going to lunch. All of a sudden, we hear this beep, 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 beep. You know how the fire alarm sounds. We're like, what the heck? And we're thinking at first it's got to be a drill, right? They're just testing it. Nope. One of the supervisors said, yep, got to go out the front. Because we have 3 to 4 rally points. And one of the exits to a rally point is the front. So we got to go all out. So we're all out and everything. We're out there in the cold. We got our jackets on or hoodies on or whatever. We're out there waiting for the clear. And we finally get the clear about 10 minutes later. And people end up taking the lunch about 10 minutes later than they're scheduled to. So instead of taking it at let's say, instead of taking it let's say 8:45, they ended up taking it at 9. Go figure. Anyway, that happened then, and then on Wednesday it happened again, but this time, like I said, it happened maybe about a half hour, an hour after later, and again had to go down one of the rally points. This one was through the emergency exit near Pactolite, or the Pactolite area. So we had to go, through that. And just as we're getting all the way to the same area we had to wait at on Tuesday, and for them to do a head count, because they did a head count on Tuesday. So before we're all settled in to that area and they can do the head count, that's when the head management says, everything's good, let's go, everything's good, everything's cool. So it's like, oh, you got to be kidding me. And then that's why, like I said, on Wednesday, I think it was Wednesday or Thursday, one of them, it was Wednesday, one of the employees, kind of joked about it happening again. So, yeah, I was like, yeah, this could happen again, so be prepared, whatever. So, yeah, I think it was Tuesday and Wednesday. I'm not really sure because it didn't happen Thursday. It didn't happen today, so I think it was either Tuesday or Wednesday or Monday and Thursday. No, it was Monday and Thursday, actually. It was actually Monday and Thursday now that I think about it. Or was it? I can't remember. It was basically during this week. It was Tuesday or Wednesday. Yeah, no, it was Tuesday and Wednesday. It was Tuesday and Wednesday because, again, somebody joked about the thing and all that and so on and whatever. But yeah, that's what happened. That was unusual. And again, I don't know, why, retail warehouses or retail stores just can't have the fire alarms programmed to tell the difference. I don't get it. Let me know if that's happened to you guys. But speaking of this being a confusing week, outside of the unnecessary hours at times, but it's understandable why they did it. And in that, there was something else that also happened. Somebody that got hired around the same time I did, I guess decided that, they had enough. Now, obviously they didn't mind, doing the other jobs that they were hired to do, like trailer stripping, shipping, if you will, EAS tagging or off-stacking and P2L pack-to-light. But when it came to making boxes like totes, for P2L to use, or the store boxes with the store's name on it, they decided that, they had enough. And I don't know what happened on Tuesday, because that was one of the days I was doing a box making, tote making. They decided, I guess, they had enough and they just walked. It was like right before last break, or no, not before last. It was after last break actually, and they just decided to leave. They left. I don't know if they decided, heck, I'm going to leave early, and just take time to myself and take a break from this. But I had not seen them since. Heck, when I went to trailer stripping yesterday, thinking that's what I'm going to be because that's what I was told before going to totes. Basically, I didn't see that person back there either. And so I don't know if she just said, enough, I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore. I'm only here for the season. This is pointless. I could do this box making at home and stuff. I don't know. I don't know what happened, but she just decided to leave and that was it. And I've not seen her since, honestly. Now, if she is still going to come back and explain, hey, look, I just need a break. And maybe she talks to them. Maybe she says, look, I want to come back. I want to finish this up, but I don't want to do any more tote making. I'm not here to do box making. We'll see. We'll see. But, yeah, it was kind of strange that happened on Tuesday. And I had not seen her since then. Didn't see her yesterday. Didn't see her on Wednesday, as far as I know. I didn't see her there today. So something was up. Hold on while I get myself some coffee here. I'm trying to stay awake. But yeah, something was off about that. That was just kind of weird. But outside of that, the week was fine. Did a little trailer stripping on Monday, which was good, and then helped out in some other areas. And then come the rest of the week, it was either totes, EAS tagging, and pack-to-light totes, or today for me, it was EAS tagging. And instead of being moved anywhere else, I looked on the screen and had my name along with two others. So I was in electronic tagging, which again is I don't know if I mentioned this, but it's basically where you put the electronic alarms on the clothing so that if anybody tries to sneak out with them, they go off. So that was what I was doing. That's what I was doing. And I will say this. If there's one thing that will make you frustrated when you're doing EAS tagging, it's basically when you're digging through, because they have these bins, these little bins, tote bins, if you will, and they're full of the EAS tags, right? So what will make you a little impatient is when you scoop through them, you get what you need, and you go over to the area you're assigned at. What will make you very impatient, if not aggravated, is when you go, because they have like a little magnet where you can disconnect the alarm if it's put together. And what's crazy about that is most of the time it will work. You just have to hit the item, or you have to put the tag on it, and you kind of shake it a bit, and then until you hear a click, and then you pull it, and then it comes off, or it should just come off. Well, basically, what aggravates me sometimes about it, but I get over it. I'm like, okay, that's not working. I'll just use this. Is the fact that sometimes these tags are stuck on each other so hard that not even the magnet that they have on there, the one that disconnects them or causes the tag to disconnect, into two pieces, not even that's going to be able to break it apart. And again, that's what makes me just like, ugh, this is so, it's like, just so aggravating. So like, this is ridiculous. But thankfully, there are other tags that they have. Maybe not the kind you would expect to be in there, but they are there, because I'm sure they realize, hey, these tags that they're going to be using maybe not be the best idea, period. May not be the best idea, period. So here's some other ones. But yeah, that's the only thing that will make you aggravated. That's the only thing to make you aggravated. But once you get the hang of it, and you start tagging the items, and you scan the boxes, and you print out the labels, you're good to go. And I got a lot of them done. I got I would assume 50, I would almost say about 50 done as far as I know. But yeah, it's fun to do. It's fun to do. And hold on for a second. That's the phone ringing. Hold on. Okay. Sorry about that. But like I said, that once you get the hang of it and get going, you should be good to go. And I think, like I said, I think I got about 50 or so boxes done and everything. The only issue was, or the only thing, well, it was a bit of an issue, but it was a bit of a change, is that usually when we're assigned to do this, we're like up front, like we're at the very beginning to where there's the conveyor belt right there. So where all we have to do is get the little snakes, little metal snake belts, if you will, conveyor belts. They're not electronics. They're more like the kind of expand out like a snake, right? You pull it and all that. And usually, like I said, when we go to there, we scan the boxes there, and then we put the boxes on the snake, and we roll it off the main conveyor that we're using onto the snake, and then onto the other conveyors that goes to shipping. Well, instead here, I'm sent all the way to the back area to get the oldest ones, because that was the mistake I kind of made on Tuesday. What I made on Tuesday was the fact that I did not see the date on there as the oldest. I just assumed, okay, the boxes are right there on the conveyor. I'm going to scan them, do the tote thing, da-da-da. And that was wrong. What it was, that I was supposed to get the boxes, on the pallets, use a pallet jack, bring them over to where I was, and do those, because those were the oldest. So that's what I ended up doing. I had to correct myself there, and then the other people had to be alerted about that as well. Like, hey, there's these pallets over here. That's what you got to be working, and not there on the belt. So yeah, that's what I ended up. So that's what I did on Tuesday and everything. As far as the EAS tagging was going, I should say, but not Tuesday, but Wednesday, as far as the EAS tagging was going. And then today I was told, okay, you're going to be here, this section, and there you go. So that's what I did. That's what I did today with EAS tagging. Thankfully, I had a conveyor belt right in front of me, and it's like one of the main conveyor belts. It's not all, cylinders. It's just a regular flat track. So it's like, okay, just place them on there after you're done, and there you go. And that's what I did. I would basically go from, because I started out a little small. I went like 4, then went to 6 boxes, and I said, screw it, I'm just going to do 10. Because I've been seeing people scan 10 boxes, if not more, and getting like 10 tags and everything. So I said, I'll just build myself up, and that's what I did. So I did like 10 and 10 and 10, so that's 40. So I think, like I said, I did about 50 of them, which is about, I think, 100 clothing items and everything. And the one thing that I did do correctly, and I'm sure I'm going to get credit for this, hopefully down the line, maybe, because I got some credit for it today, like, hey, good job catching that and everything. Well, double check and everything. Is I noticed, because one of the co-workers I work with, they basically are new at a job they're doing called VC, vendor compliance. And what that means is they got to look out for all kinds of violations. They got to look out for some violations and all that to ensure that things are done correctly, and to let the retailer or the company that sent the item out to us, hey, this is what happened. This is what we discovered. You guys got to work on it. Anyway, what happened today is right off the bat, I find my first VC violation, my first vendor compliance violation, because the thing is, when you send pants to a distributing warehouse for the store, you're supposed to make sure you use the box to its full extent. Even if it's a small box, you got to use it to its full extent. And these smaller horizontal boxes, if you will, diagonal boxes, they can fit about, I would say, from what I saw, about 6 pairs of pants that folded right. Well, for some odd reason, the people behind sending them out there, for some odd reason, whoever they assigned to do these things, I guess they need to train them better, because they get lazy. They get lazy and all that, because there is several times this week. Now, I didn't catch it on Tuesday, but Tuesday, by Wednesday, I didn't catch it on Wednesday, but today I did. Because, again, one of my coworkers said, hey, you need to keep an eye on that for that. Keep an eye out for that. I was like, okay, no problem. So I look, and even though I found out later on after they looked at them, hey, they caught them already, basically the night before, I'm assuming caught them already and everything, except for one. There was one they did not catch. I don't know if because they ran out of shift time or what, but there was one they did not catch. And that's I kind of feel good about that, because it's like, hey, I'm preventing situations, that could reflect bad on us and, the vendor and all that. So anyway, like I said, the first thing I see, box-wise, when I come in and I start doing my job, is a 1 pant box. Yeah, 1 pair of pants is in there. And that's not good. And then I check later on, so what I do is I'm getting myself going, I check some of the boxes, I'm like, okay, what else could there be? And there were like 4 more of these. But again, they were caught already, except for the first one that I found, because I think that one was the one that they didn't catch, and it was, a VC violation, a vendor violation. But yeah. That was an interesting way to start the day and continuing on with the day, because it's like, are you serious? It's like, why waste a box, a singular box, on just a singular pair of pants? It's like, are you as the vendor or the person that works for the vendor, are you that lazy? Are you seriously that lazy that you don't want to put the effort in, even towards the end of your shift, to add more, again, I do apologize for that vibration there. That's the one thing, too, about recording on audio, or recording audio recordings on your phone. You're going to get vibrational notifications throughout. So I do apologize for that. And I do apologize if I sound a little tired, because I did work today. But anyway, like I said, I don't know what their issue is, but if I'm the vendors, if I'm the bosses, the vendors over at wherever, Levi's, Nike's, wherever, I would Wrangler, I would basically take my workers aside and say, hey, look, we just got a violation sent to us from such and such store. in such and such retail store's warehouse because you guys decided to put one item in a box instead of using it to its full potential or full usefulness. So, so I don't know if it, I don't know what the issue is, but hopefully they'll take them aside and they will train them better. That's all I'm going to say. But yeah, that was an interesting way to start off. And, they sent somebody over to double check and everything. And it's like everything was good except for that one. But anyway, outside of that, they went by quick. I thought it probably went quicker than all the other days I've had. And I think it's because I didn't have a clock in front of me. Every other area I've been in, I'm always seeing the time. I'm always seeing the time. So I'm figuring if I don't see the time, the day will go by quick. And it does. It does go by quick. And I think I'm not the only one that knows that or sees that. But yeah, just an interesting week and everything. And like I said, the fire alarm going off, I think I mentioned earlier, was kind of like a surprise because, again, they need to basically make sure that the fire alarms know the difference between, smoke and water pressure. Because those two times at the beginning of this week are like, are you serious? It's like, not cool. Not cool. But hopefully they'll get that issue addressed in the future. Drinking some coffee to keep myself going. But hopefully they'll address that in the future. But yeah, outside of a lot of the other things, just a good work week. A long week that went by quick, I should say. And what was interesting too is yesterday or late last night, as I'm settling down, because I did nap earlier, so I had a little extra energy. What I did before I finally decided to lay back down is, I was trying out the new Pixverse, the new Pixverse AI site that I found or was introduced to through Twitter. And what happened is it's creating, a new image, and then I find out about this other one called Hopper, Hopper, HAIPR. As I'm trying them out, all of a sudden the internet goes down. And apparently there was an outage. And an outage due to network damage. We don't know what it was, what caused it. It just happened. And I'm thinking, okay, I'll just rest, wake up, and see if it's restored. And basically, after I wake up, get myself together, get in the shower, that's when it gets restored. Like, as soon as I get myself in the shower and out of the shower, that's when it's restored. That being, the internet, the cable, the phone, it's like, are you serious? It's like, are you serious? But, yeah. But anyway, yeah, it was just, just an interesting, interesting situation there before we went to bed last night. I went to bed last night due to the fact that, usually Xfinity will let you know when they're doing a maintenance and all that, but instead it's an outage. And to me, it felt like more like, okay, you're not specifically saying where the outage is at. So I'm going to assume you're only using outage as an excuse for maintenance that you forgot to tell people you had scheduled. That's just my opinion. But, yeah, it was a good week at work, and I can't say any more than that. And what's going to be happening? Okay, so here's the other thing too. So we know with Thanksgiving being this week, there was one or two options. Either have Thanksgiving off and then work work Black Friday, or work Sunday and have Black Friday off. Well, basically the latter won out. Everybody has to go in on Sunday, 6 to 2:30, Monday, Tuesday, 4 to 2:30, and Wednesday, 6 to 2:30. And you're thinking to yourself, that's kind of an unusual schedule. Yeah, it is, but they're trying to basically get, enough hours in there so that people will have some money going forward, as well as they will basically be able to not have to worry about working Friday morning, afternoon, or evening, which I don't think they would have done anyway. But with that said, unfortunately, my ride's like, look, God comes first, which is true. So they're going to go to church, and they're not going to get up any earlier just to take me to work. So they told me, and my coworker agreed, yeah, you might want to try to use some time that you might have to take care of this, that I need to take that day off. I just basically need to say, okay, I just need to basically say, like, okay, I'm not going to work, so I'm going to take the day off, but what do I do? Like, how do I approach this? Because even if I ask people to, pick me up for work, will they answer? Will they not answer? I don't know. Anyway, and I do apologize. Like I said earlier, I'm a little tired and everything. So my speech pattern might be a little blah. Anyway, like I said, like I was saying, my ride told me God comes first, and which is, true and everything. And they basically all told me, even my coworker said, hey, you need to find a way to, work around this. So I'm going to be taking another paid sick leave day on Sunday. So even though I won't be working, I'll be getting paid. And then I'm going to have to use what remains of my paid sick leave for Monday and Tuesday, because that's the 4 a.m. schedules. And again, my ride's like, look, I have to go to Livermore and work with pre-K. I'm not going to get up too early, just to get you to work and then wait like an hour or two in the parking lot. So basically I'm going to have to use my sick leave to do that, for a 4 a.m. to 6 a.m. Block before I go in person and work. And, that's really all I could say, guys. That's really all I can say on it. But yeah, it's going to be an unusual upcoming week because of that. But not just because of, okay, this is, the work schedule is a little bit more different. And not just because of Thanksgiving. It's going to be unusual because basically, I've got a situation that's happening, not going to say what it is, to where essentially my ride is not going to be available on the 1st and the 2nd. So I'm going to have to do unexcused absences on those days and miss work because, they're not going to be available. And I'm not going to say any more than that. But it's just one of those circumstances to where it's like, well, that will kind of cut into my scheduling for doing some content for the channel and everything in December. Not much, but it'll kind of cut in. But be that as it may, that's what's going on. Outside of, again, this being a long but quick work week. A fun one at times and a very confusing one, there's no doubt. But let me know what your thoughts are on this whole vlog deal. Again, I do apologize for being a little slurry, especially towards the end. I am tired. I do want to rest a little bit more. And I do apologize for the vibrational noises, for the notifications on the phone, which I'm recording this on. But let me know what your thoughts are. Comment down below. Live chat during the premiere if you want to. Ring the bell for notifications. Subscribe to the channel. Like the video. Check out my Teespring store. Link is in the description at the bottom. And link to where you can find my content elsewhere and support me at is also in the description. Also find me at devernart.com, BVW1979. But guys, let me know what your thoughts are. I'd love to hear your thoughts on everything I have to say here in this vlog. Have you ever dealt with situations like this to where the fire alarm at your job has gone off due to its confusion of smoke and water pressure? And have you ever had somebody just decide in the middle of work after the last break, I'm done. That's it. I don't want to do this because if this is what they're going to have us do job-wise, I don't want to do it anymore. Or at least have that kind of impression, if you will. Let me know. Let me know down below in the comments as well as in the live chat during the premiere. And until then, guys, again, I do apologize for sounding a little slurry and tiring throughout this, especially towards the end. But let me know what your thoughts are. And until then, I am out.